Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I apologize, updates have been kind of slow as of late. Life's been kicking my butt. But in this video, I'm going to go over the shock mount bar installation, which allowed us to relocate the shocks inboard while maintaining the stock spare tire well, which is something that was important to me at this time with the car where it's currently at. Kind of go over what I did, and then at the end of the day, after everything was all said and done, maybe some pointers I can give to help make the job easier for you. Because if I had a couple of these tricks or tips for doing this, it would have been definitely easier for me. But anyway, take a look, enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions. Always happy to help. Cheers. Okay, just to kind of give an overview of what we're going to be working with the shock mount bar, based off the measurements of the bar provided by Team Z, we're going to be somewhere in this area here. So as you can see, we have some supporting metal in this area, as well as up in there too. So I can see up in this area where the plates are for the roll cage, and then also over there as well. So basically, if I just go inward from there into the spare tire well, if I open up a section on both sides enough, I could hopefully just jimmy the bar in, slide it in, and then section out here and there, and hopefully gain access to everything I need to. So that's my idea. Let's see if it plays out how I think it's gonna play out. Okay, here we are. Got the holes opened up in the spare tire well. I'm pretty happy with the location of the holes. Looks like it's gonna work out very good. Want to take more of a systematic approach on this and try to keep what we could and only remove what we need to. So we're definitely going to have to remove all the stock here, as well as all the stock in here. And then also, as you can see, we have one of the gas tank mount straps in there. So once the bar is in, we're going to have to fab up a small bracket that can mount the gas tank strap back to its normal location. But other than that, once we get the bar in, we get the mounting point for the strap back in. We'll then evaluate whether or not we need to add some reinforcement back to this, but overall, it's going in the right direction. Pretty happy so far. All right, we got the gas tank out, and then all the stock up here on the left and up on the right removed. We got it cleaned up pretty good. We're gonna do a little bit more cleaning up here so it looks a little bit more presentable. But let's go see if this bar fits how I think it will. Okay, we got this thing ready to tack in. What we did was from bulkhead to the center of the shock mount bolt. We have 11 inches exactly on both sides. And then we ran a straight edge from the bottom of the frame rail here to the other side. And we're getting 1 inch and 5/8 from the bottom of the bar to the straight edge on both sides. So we're square to the frame rail, we're square to the bulkhead. It's burned in. Okay, now that the shock bar is tacked in, next step is we got to figure out where we locate the shock mount brackets on the axle side. Since we're going to be doing the torque boxes that has a different anti-roll bar in it with a different mounting location on the axle, we're going to disconnect the anti-roll bar. We're going to remove the ears that we had on it. These ones are from when we had a tailpipe anti-roll bar on the car. Obviously current one, get rid of those. And we're going to cut out the old anti-roll bar. So all that'll be gone. Once that's gone, we'll take the shocks off, we'll get them set up for the bar mount, and then we will locate where these will go onto the axle. Let's do this. If you were running the Team Z brace kit for your solid axle like I am, you'll notice that the brackets for the axle side will not work with the V-brace incorporated, so you will have to lop off the bottom edge of the mounting area on the bracket as shown. This will allow you to correctly seat the bracket against the axle and on the V-brace. All right, now we're going to tack in the brackets onto the axle. Got our shocks installed just to make sure everything's lined right. We're going to straighten these brackets out, make sure everything is straight. We'll tack them in, and then we should be good to burn everything in. Okay, here's the bottom side all finished off. As you can see over on the left, we are blocked off on the inside of the trunk. We use 22 gauge sheet stock. I'll show that once we go into the trunk. We have our bracket fabbed up for the gas tank strap, so that's no problem. All that stock can go away and we don't need to put anything back there. Same thing goes for this side. We had all that stock over on this side. We got rid of it and we didn't put anything back there as well. Everything is blocked off in the trunk with 22 gauge sheet stock like I mentioned. We had to change the return fuel fitting here so that way the shock will clear any of the fuel lines and all that stuff there. So everything clears here. Got the brackets welded and painted on the axle. Last but not least, wanted to mention that we had to box in on the inside of the trunk, as you can see here, because we want to make sure that we can get that bolt in and out. If we had it like this, how it normally was, we wouldn't have been able to get that bolt in and out. So on the inside of the trunk, it's boxed off and we can get that bolt in and out. But anyway, this is what it looks like on the bottom side. Not too bad. All right, so here's the inside of the trunk. Goal of keeping the spare tire well was to be able to utilize trunk space still. So, you know, when we do drag and drives, we throw luggage and stuff back here. Have room for the chute after a pass. And then also, more importantly, we wanted to keep the nice spare stock style location tank that we have in this car. So that's why we wanted to keep this as is. Now, what I would suggest, if you're going to try to approach this in a similar manner as I did, from the flat of the spare tire well to the center of the bar is 5 1/4 inches. So what I would suggest trying to do, instead of my method of guessing based off of the plates of the roll cage, is take that 5 1/4 measurement out, then just go straight left to right, mark it, and then take a 5-inch hole saw and just go right in side to side. That should give you enough room and enough clearance to get in get the bar in without any issue, and it should give you enough clearance here as well, enough opening so that way when you go to box this in, you don't have to cut out more like I had to. But overall, not too mad at how it came out. I will be going back to smooth out some of the seam sealer. That's the only thing I'm not really in love with how this came out. I want this to look a little bit prettier, but the 22 gauge steel stock worked really well for tacking, manipulating, and contouring of the spare tire wall. So very happy with that part of the finished job. But anyway, this is how it looks. Pretty happy with it so far, and we'll make it even nicer here as time goes on. Before I cut you guys loose, I just wanted to mention one last thing. Once we got everything to ride height and got everything set, we realized that the shocks that we had for the stock location were a touch too long. When you go from the stock location to inboard, you will lose some length. We had a 7-inch stroke shock from Mensker. We try to target 1.5 inches or so out of the hole for, you know, drag and drive purposes. Anything less would probably bottom out during our normal activities that we do. So once we got everything set, we only had about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch out of the hole. It just wasn't going to work, and I'm not raising the car up to do, you know, just to make that shock work. So I had to end up, unfortunately, selling those shocks, and Mensker is going to be setting us up with a 6-inch stroke shock with a different mounting design on the bottom, so that way we can get more adjustability with our new bracketry and location on the car. So just keep that in mind if you're going from stock location to inboard. If you have something smaller than a 7-inch stroke, you might be okay, but definitely want to make mention of that for everybody. If there's any questions, never hesitate to reach out. Hope this is helpful for some of you guys, and good luck if you're trying to do it. See ya.